Haven't been around all that long. In fact, only 11 years, but they went to the World Series a year ago, representing the American League. Here's their lineup. They're managed by Joe Madden. He's going to be in charge of the All-Star team from the American League in just about a week and a half. B.J. Upton is the reigning player of the month in the AL. He's followed by the equally as speedy, equally as dangerous Carl Crawford. Longoria and Pena, Zobrist and Burrell. Jason Bartlett, former Ranger fan favorite Gabe Kapler batting 8th. And Deanna Navarro is the catcher batting 9th. And Tom Grieve let us scout out young Derek Holland.
Well, on the season, the numbers don't look great. He's 1-5. His ERA is over 6. But there's been a lot of flashes in that 1-5 that give you a lot of good feelings about what's going to happen in the future. His last start was a very unusual start. He gave up 13 hits in 5 2/3, only walked 1 batter and struck out 8. He gave up some hits, but boy, there were times where he had outstanding stuff. He's thrown a lot of strikes. Almost 64% of his pitches as a rookie in the big leagues have been strikes. And even though his numbers don't look that great, you still feel good every time you get a chance to watch him pitch, because he'll do something tonight that'll give you a little glimpse of what you can expect down the road.
The strike throwing machine clicks into gear right away. B.J. Upton, who is 3rd in the American League in strikeouts. Kind of an odd thing for a leadoff hitter to be. But he's doing a lot of other things very well of late.
Well, Upton walks quite a bit. His average isn't great because of how badly he started out. But even with the strikeouts, when you look at what he's capable of hitting for average and the fact that he will take a walk, his on-base percentage will be certainly playable for a leadoff guy. He may grow into a down-the-order kind of guy as he gets more mature and more experience.
Line to foul into the crowd. You'll notice that Upton and all the players tonight are wearing that 4 ALS patch right above the chest. That is more commonly referred to ALS, of course, these days as Lou Gehrig's disease. Raising awareness about ALS today. It's the 70th anniversary of Lou Gehrig's famous luckiest man speech. And Pete O'Brien, whose dad Jim lost his battle with ALS about 20 years ago, was on field just a little bit ago. Recited an abbreviated version of that famous Lou Gehrig speech and did that very, very well tonight. Foul tip. Teagarden's got it. Down goes B.J. Upton. Oh, you can ka-ching the first strikeout of the night. And as you mentioned, Tag, Holland had the strikeout pitch working last time, too.
And that was a good fastball. Looked like a 2-seam fastball. Had sinking action to it. Good velocity. Great location. Good way to start the ball game.
You also notice these stars and stripes caps that are being worn tonight all across baseball. Everybody's wearing them for the 4th of July weekend, even the umpires tonight. See Hunter Wendelstedt over there at first base. Brian Knight's at second tonight. Doug Eddings at 3rd. Dana DeMuth is behind the plate. Hopefully everybody had a wonderful 4th of July afternoon. As we head on towards the evening, we really appreciate you making Ranger baseball a part of it. Good time to be a Rangers fan, no doubt. A lot to be proud of if you're a Ranger fan. The team is tied for 1st in the AL West with the Angels. The Angels lost late last night. Rangers had that 3-1 win. Already their 4th win this year, Tag, when they have had 5 hits or fewer in a game. That's a great sign.
Yeah, there haven't been many games over a long period of time where the Rangers win 3-1. Had a big home run by Hank Laylock, 2-run homer. Big RBI hit by Marlon Byrd, but only 3 runs, and they made it stand up. Good starting pitching. Tommy Hunter, good bullpen work.
Carl Crawford with a smash in right center field. Marlon Byrd back. He won't get it. And Crawford already towards second base. Bird's got to hustle it in. Crawford thought about 3rd. He's going to stop. A full count double. He's got himself a 12-game hitting streak now.
Crawford hit the ball really hard a couple of times last night for outs. And he hit that ball really hard for a double.
Well, already it's kind of a summation of what Holland's last start was all about. Strikeouts and hits. Not a lot of in between.
Well, the key for Derek is pretty obvious, and it's what you'll see with each start and with each year that goes by is the ability to command the strike zone and to work on his secondary pitches. Changeup, curveball, slider. Something other than a fastball. That got him in trouble last game. But it's not unexpected for a youngster without much minor league experience who's pitching in the big leagues so quickly after he signed.
Last year's Rookie of the Year, Evan Longoria. And he's going to be the all-star third baseman this year. He's way out in front in the balloting. One less decision for Joe Maddon to make. Joe had to have the all-star roster set by this afternoon. It's going to be announced tomorrow afternoon. Pretty easy choice was Longoria last year for Rookie of the Year. All 28 first place votes. High drive by Longoria that's not going to get very far. Marlon Byrd, knowing that Crawford wants to tag, runs up on it. Then Crawford has to idle right there at second base. The rest of the way defensively for the Rangers tonight. Murphy and Cruz flanking Marlin out there in the outfield. Young, Andrews, Kinsler, and Blaylock instead of Davis at first tonight. A rare start for Taylor Teagarden instead of Saul Lamacchio, though Ron Washington says, Tab, we're going to start seeing more of Taylor Teagarden.
Well, it makes sense. And, Ron said with the heat, with the desire to give Salty a couple of days off a week, Taylor's going to get more playing time. And that'll keep Jared strong the whole season. And it's good for Taylor because it'll get him one more start a week than he's been getting. And it's not like Taylor's a 35-year-old veteran at the tail end of his career as a backup catcher. Taylor still has a chance somewhere down the road to be an everyday catcher. And so getting him experience and playing time is important.
Carlos Pena, the one-time Ranger, is a batter now, 2 out of 15 on this road trip, but he's the guy leading the American League in home runs. We should mention we have triple-digit temperatures at game time tonight, 100 on the button. A little bit of a breeze tonight, though. Flags are pointing towards that third base dugout. Pena socks it. Blaylock has to go get it. Holland racing. Yeah, he's on the bag.
Wow, I don't know how they did that.
Holland reaching around with his feet. Just hoping the bag was under there somewhere, and it was. The Rangers are out of the inning. Steph covering first base early in his big league career. Tag not in the first inning tonight.
Yeah, the key is to get there, and he got there quickly, got turned around, but you can see his foot on the side of the bag. There's been a couple of times where Derek has been late getting to first base, but I'm sure that's something that he's been concerned about, and it was not a problem right there. In fact, that's how they got out of the inning.
Now to try to get Holland some run support. Here's the Ranger lineup brought to you by Southwest. Kinsler, Young, and Bird as everybody's still awaiting the return of Josh Hamilton. That's looking like it'll be on the road trip now. Jones and Blaylock follow Bird. Then you've got Cruz and Murphy, Teagarden and Andrews. And boy, another young, stalwart left-hand pitcher on the mound tonight. Not just Derek Holland we're talking about, but an even more heralded young lefty, David Price, will be facing Ian Kinsler.
Yeah, Price was the first pick in the 2007 draft. Tommy Hunter was the 54th pick in the same draft. He pitched and won last night. Price, as highly touted a young prospect as there's been in the league in the last 5 or 6 years. Got his feet wet last year. Pitched some nice baseball in postseason play. His record 2-2, ERA under 4. Last game 2 hits, 1 earned run. Pitched into the 7th inning. And he's given up 2 earned runs or fewer in 5 of his 7 starts. Thrown a lot of pitches. He's averaging over 19 pitches per inning. But again, he's a young pitcher, huge upside, college pitcher, a little bit more experience than Derek, but at a somewhat similar stage of his career.
Tampa Bay traded away Edwin Jackson to make room for him in this year's rotation. As we've talked about a lot this year, they didn't get a lot in return for Edwin Jackson, but David Price needed room to operate in this rotation. They started him this year at AAA and rather briskly brought him up. His last start at AAA, he went 5 innings, no hits, 9 strikeouts, and they figured, okay, it's time. The slender lefty brings it, and Kinsler fouls it. Now, you alluded to it, Tag. He was the very first pick in 07. He made it to the majors by September of 08. And there he was closing out Game 7 of the ALCS at Fenway by October of 08.
The Rays bullpen was tired, just like every bullpen at that stage of the season. He was kind of their ace in a hole.
He strikes out Kinsler to begin his night tonight. Ian's got an over 14 going right now.
Good slider. Off-speed pitch to go along with an occasional mid-90s fastball.
Michael Young will take him out for a test drive now. Michael's got the 7th best batting average in the American League, that is. Ichiro's on top in the 360s. The other thing about David Price that everybody talks about, Tag, is that he's such a willing pupil. Very eager to learn the nuances of everything. Their pitching coach, Jim Hickey, told Sports Illustrated this offseason, he said, to build the perfect pitcher, the Franken pitcher, it would be David Price. He's got the size, he's left-handed, upper 90s velocity, he's smart, and he's inquisitive. And I think he made it a point to differentiate, but you know, there are some smart players who are not very inquisitive. They think they know it all. And he says that's not David Price. I'm sure the opposite is true. There are some inquisitive guys that aren't very smart, but
well, the bottom line is, can you get big league hitters out and can you win? And time will tell. It certainly sounds like he's got the makings of a frontline, top of the rotation kind of guy, but we'll see.
Down and in, Michael Young is on. Marlon Byrd coming up. The Tampa Bay defense, the TBD. Look at that infield. It's been very solid. Deanna Navarro was an all-star last year. He will not be this year. He's only hitting .211, but he's still very solid behind the plate. That is Joe Maddon's lineup card. We figured yesterday with all the emails we got, that is a Spencer Tracy look.
He looks just like Spencer Tracy.
Spencer Tracy never managed an all-star game, though, and Joe Maddon's going to do that in 10 days. A visionary with faulty vision. Thus the glasses. But, you know, as much as you and I, Tag, have talked this spring and summer about attitude and positivity, I guess, if you will. I mean, that maxim that whatever you put out there will come back to you is such a Joe Madden staple, and he just drills that philosophy up and down this organization.
Well, the key at this stage of Price's career is to make him get the ball up, make him throw strikes. He tends to throw a lot of pitches. He's averaged over 19 pitches per start. He hasn't qualified to be in the ERA race because of few innings. But if he did qualify, he'd have the most pitches per innings in the big leagues right now, which means don't help him out.
Marlon Byrd has seized the opportunity to do a lot of very positive things with Josh Hamilton out. He's played a real mean center field. And suddenly he is #1 in the league in doubles. Marlon, part of the 3-1 win yesterday, but again, the big story yesterday was Tommy Hunter. His first big league win, he got it on his 23rd birthday. Young goes, and that is ball 4 to Marlon Byrd. 2 straight walks after the strikeout. That'll bring up Andrew Jones. Also will bring Jim Hickey marching out of the dugout. Tampa Bay held to a season low 3 hits yesterday. And again, Tommy Hunter was a big part of that. Really able to get all 4 pitches over for strikes. And as Tommy has said, you know, last year just kind of feeling his way, he felt like he only had 2 pitches. And it's not like he was able to get those over consistently for strikes.
That's why you don't evaluate young pitchers in the big leagues for the first time. You evaluate their overall potential and you believe in it, but you don't get too carried away with what their performance is when they first get to the big leagues. Otherwise, you might have crossed Tommy Hunter off for this season based on the short sample from last year. But look at the dramatic improvement from one year to the next. And that's why you can't get discouraged when you see that Derek Holland has an ERA of over 6. It's meaningless right now. It means, yeah, that he's struggled at times. He's thrown a lot of pitches. Hasn't been able to get his off-speed pitches over occasionally. But in the overall scheme of things, it doesn't mean a thing. Let's wait and see what happens. If he shows the same kind of improvement that Tommy did from one year to the next, he'll look like an entirely different guy.
Andrew Jones wallops one to left field. That ball taking off. It is gone!
It's safe to say that David Price is, again, one of the most highly touted young pitchers in baseball, but he's struggling right now with his command. He's not a finished product, and you can't really evaluate what you see with him right now. But the Rangers took advantage of a couple of walks. He needed to throw a strike. He threw one to a veteran hitter who was waiting for a good pitch to hit and drove it out of the ballpark.
David Price, growing up in Tennessee, was a big Braves fan. David Justice and Andrew Jones were 2 of his guys as he followed the Braves. Had his first chance to actually face Andrew Jones. Andrew hits that 3-run home run to left. Now Blaylock pounds it foul. Well, before we leave the topic of Andrew Jones, Tag, this is a guy that had 3 home runs all last year as an LA Dodger. He's got 10 as a Ranger, and we're not yet to the halfway point of 2009. Blaylock chops it to Bartlett. There's out number 2. That's a comeback player of the year candidate right there in the American League, Andrew Jones.
Well, Andrew knew that he still had a lot of baseball left in him, and I think he went and did some research along with Scott Boras, his agent, and decided the best place for him to be was with Rudy Jaramillo, who you see talking to him right now, and the Texas Rangers. And the Rangers were able to bring him on board for spring training. He's worked hard, been in a little bit of a slump, but you know, that's the way baseball is. He's a veteran guy, and he's showing that he can still hit. He's still got a lot of baseball left in him. Still in his early 30s, not like he's 38 or 39 years old. Good teammate, guys in the team love him. He's glad to be here. It's a good situation for him, good situation for the Rangers.
Oh, and it's funny, another Scott Boras client was the guy that got moved to LA to replace his bat, essentially, when they traded for Manny Ramirez last year. Manny hit a home run in his first at bat today, too. In that Dodgers-Padres game, there's a lot of kind of weird attention all about Manny Ramirez, but so nice for Andrew Jones. He's just quietly flying under everybody's radar here with the Rangers.
I think that's just the way he wants it right now, too.
Yep.
He's happy to be a good teammate and part of a winning team.
Dodgers lost that game to San Diego, by the way, 7-4 today. Nelly Cruz waves and misses. Down he goes. 2 strikeouts in the inning, but 2 walks, and home run number 10 for Andrew Jones. We go say hello to Jim Knotts.
All right, thank you, Josh. Hello, Josh and Tom. It is ALS Day around Major League Baseball, and with us today, it is Michelle Spodnek of the ALS Association. It's 70-year anniversary when Lou Gehrig made that big speech, and a lot of people are not aware of ALS, right?
Yes, thank you. On behalf of the ALS Association, we're just thrilled to be here this evening. We have about 100 patients and their families here to help celebrate the 70th anniversary of Lou Gehrig's famous farewell speech. We want to thank Major League Baseball and the Texas Rangers and all the fans for giving us this wonderful opportunity to really have the public be more aware of this disease, and also hopefully to encourage people that want to get more involved to find out more about our association.
It's a disease that as far as the muscles, the brain is not sending any kind of inkling to the muscles, correct?
Yes, it's a degenerative neuromuscular disease, and there's no cure. And so part of our association's major missions is to help raise money to fund the research so we can fight and strike out ALS.
300,000 people nationwide have the disease, as Ian Kinsler makes the out right there. This is Terry McCain from Allen, Texas, wearing a Lou Gehrig New York Yankee jersey tonight. He wanted to say something, Terry.
Today, we are the luckiest people alive. Thank you, Lou.
Well, thank you, Terry. He's a longtime Ranger fan, and those who want to get involved and help out, what do they need to do, Michelle?
Please visit our website at www.alsanorthtexas.org.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you. Nice meeting you. Thank you, Josh.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. It is a topic, a disease that has touched a lot of people in Major League Baseball. Cal Ripken, several years ago, kind of picked up the cause when he was in pursuit of the Lou Gehrig Ironman record. Curt Schilling has become so active in it.
Doesn't Curt have a son named Gehrig?
Yes, he does. And what's very interesting, that what's come out on the 70-year anniversary of Lou Gehrig having made the speech. Of course, when Lou Gehrig contracted ALS, it was a very new thing. I mean, nobody really knew what it was, and what they discovered, I guess, going back through letters that were sent between Lou Gehrig and his physician at the Mayo Clinic up in Minnesota, was that Lou was under the impression that he was going to beat the thing. He was getting better. He felt like he was putting on weight, that he had an actual shot to get back to a big league career. He had no idea that indeed there is no cure. You don't get better. And when he made that speech, as Pat Burrell chips one in a shallow left field, apparently he had every thought, every intention that this was, as he said in the speech, a bad blow, but he was going to beat it and come back and no big deal and kind of keep a positive attitude about it. Now we know, of course, that as was just discussed, there is no cure, and that's what's got to change. The money that's being raised, the awareness that's being fostered right now. We'll talk more later in the broadcast today, having meet some other people who have been touched by ALS. Jason Bartlett takes inside. 3-0 Rangers here in the top of the second inning. Derek Holland is dealing early on. Jason Bartlett came in hitting .357.
Good pitch right here. Sinker down and away, took a little bit off
it. Derek's about to throw his 30th pitch tonight, Tag, and I can't imagine that 26 of the first 30 have been fastballs like in that last start against San Diego.
No, he's thrown. That's a slider right there. He got Zobrist to swing and miss at a good slider. The pitch that Bartlett just missed 2 pitches ago was a good changeup. Sinking changeup. That's a 2-seam fastball tailing away. No, he's working on things more than just throwing a fastball for sure.
He was kind of a victim of his own success, I think. He threw 12 great fastballs in the first inning against San Diego and was overmatching the Padres. That ball tagged by Bartlett into left center field. Murphy going back, looking up, and this ball jumps out of here. Jason Bartlett, his 8th of the year. And the Rays are on the board. It's 3-1. Very similar to where the Andrew Jones home run went.
And that's a great example of pitching in the big leagues, falling behind and grooving a fastball. The Devil Rays are good hitters. He's behind 3-1. He throws him a fastball right down the middle of the plate, and it gets hit for a home run. When you get behind in the count and you have to throw a fastball, and the hitter's a good hitter, looks for it and gets one right down the middle, generally those balls are hit hard. That's just a fact of pitching in the big leagues. You throw that same pitch on the first pitch or 1 and 2, hitter's not quite as aware of the pitch and looking for the pitch. But when it's 3-1, that's what he's looking for.
Here's a very familiar stance to Ranger fans. There's Gabe Kapler at the plate. He's going to send one down the right field line. And Nelly Cruz has got it. We'll talk more about Gabe Kapler before the night is done tonight, I'm sure. Well, the Bartlett home run. That's got Tampa Bay on the board. It's 3-1. Yesterday, 3-1. You're noticing the players wearing those Stars and Stripes caps for the 4th of July. And those authentic replica caps are available for sale to the public, with 100% of MLB's proceeds committed to welcome back veterans. MLB.com is where to go. David Murphy, the batter. Murphy down in the batting order because he is left-handed and facing a left-hander, David Price. Although lefties are actually hitting Price at a pretty healthy clip tag, 306. Kind of a short sample, though, too. A couple of Ranger lefties having big homestands, Blaylock and David Murphy. The Rangers have won 3 straight. This after losing 3 straight, and that was after winning 3 straight. Added up, they are 6-3 in their last 9. As Murphy takes him down, he goes. 3 strikeouts already for Price.
Pitching aggressively right now with his fastball. Number 4, right on the outside corner.
That's what his manager told him a couple of starts ago. Got to get that fastball over for strikes. He's got a great changeup, but he really, I guess, couldn't get to that changeup when the fastball wasn't getting across for strikes.
But it really doesn't matter what kind of pitcher you are, what kind of stuff you throw, what different pitches you feature. Everything works off your fastball, and you have to be able to command your fastball. There are very few pitchers who are off-speed pitchers without good command of a fastball that are successful pitchers. It just doesn't happen.
Pretty good fastball right there. Taylor Teagarden was swinging, and now it's 2-1. Taylor was saying that usually on the 4th of July when he was a kid, he'd head on over to Addison, about 5 or 10 minutes from where his house was for the big fireworks show. Now he's working and driving this one. Upton galloping back. Over his head it goes. Teagarden into second base. He's got a 1-out double.
That's almost a carbon copy of the at-bat that Jason Bartlett had. Price fell behind, 3 balls and 1 strike. Going to come in with a fastball right out over the plate. And Taylor drove it, stayed in the ballpark, but he drove it 400 feet to dead center field. And those are lessons that young pitchers learn. Not that they need to learn them. They pretty much know that that's a fact of life. Pitching behind is not the recipe for success. Every pitcher knows that. There's a lot of veteran pitchers who, when they're behind, can throw a changeup, curveball, something else for a strike and be pretty effective. But there's not a lot of pitchers who can fall behind consistently, throw fastballs, and still win. But from time to time, we're talking about 2 young pitchers here, but that's the case with all pitchers. Veteran pitchers, it doesn't matter. Nothing unique to 2 young left-handers out there right now.
Up getting ahead just tilts everything your way. And every year, whatever the actual statistic is, it's always very stark, the difference between an 0-1 count and a 1-0 count. What happens after that? Andrews peeling one back in the crowd.
Have you statistically got what the very best count is for hitting? Is it 3-1? Is it 2-0?
You know, Ed, well, I can not very quickly, but reasonably quickly get you this year's model of that.
Okay.
And
I mean, I'm guessing it's 2-0 or 3-1.
Actually, you know, I'll guarantee you what it is 0-0. That
first ball hitting?
Yeah, first ball hitting. And we've had discussions about why that is, too, as Andrews takes outside.
I think a lot of that is because pitchers have it drilled into them, throw a first pitch strike, that the hitter can look for a first pitch strike and take advantage of that.
Well, and remember, too, it's the batting average on balls actually put in place. If you foul a ball on the first pitch, Doesn't really matter, right?
Right.
Andrews takes a walk here. That's 3 walks already allowed by David Price. He does have 3 strikeouts, too.
Well, he pitched aggressively to David Murphy with his fastball, with good command of it. Fell behind Teagard and gave up a double, and now walks Andrus. And now it's the top of the order, Ian Kinsler. And with 1 out in the second inning, Price has already thrown 42 pitches. So he's averaged 19.2 pitches per inning so far in his brief stint in the big leagues this year. It's higher than that right now.
Very well what the Rangers are by counts this year. I won't give you all of them, but
what's the best one?
Looking. Kinsler will take a strike. It's 1-1. On a 0-0 count, the Rangers are, that's kind of par for the course in baseball. They're hitting .375. And next best would be the 2-0 count, .365. Followed very closely by the 3-1 count, .361. When the Rangers are at 0-2, they're hitting .107. When they're at 1-2, they're hitting .134.
And that's why you'll hear every manager in baseball talk about having his players work the count, get ahead in the count, get a 2-0 count, get a 3-1 count.
Well, even the difference, I mean, put it this way, that swing pitch, what happens on pitch number 3? Say the count's 1-1, what happens next? If suddenly it's 2-1, the Rangers on that count are hitting .320. But when it's 1-2, as we mentioned, they're hitting .134.
A huge difference, obviously.
On one pitch.
That's why if you're the hitter and you're at bat on a 1-1 pitch and you have a pitch called a strike that's out of the strike zone, it completely turns around your at bat. You go from 2-1 to 1-2. And hitters know that. Pitchers know that. Same thing for a pitcher. You throw a strike, it's called a ball. Now it's 2-1 instead of 1-2.
Kinsler hangs around, still 2 balls, 2 strikes. And David Price already getting close to 50 pitches in this game. You called that one early in terms of number of pitches per inning. Scott Kazmir, a similar difficulty yesterday. That's why he was done after 5 innings.
That's a tough one to lay off of right there. That's a good slider down and in. And he'll get a lot of swings and misses at that pitch. And probably a lot of strikeouts. And that was a good pitch to take right there for him. You know, he's got 2 men on. He doesn't want to walk him right here. He threw a slider 2-2. If you're a hitter, you have to be looking for a fastball right here. But doing the slider again, he walked him.
Bases loaded for Michael Young. And another visit from Jim Hickey.
That's a case where Navarro is probably saying, you've got a home run, a guy that can hit a home run up at the plate. He's looking fastball all the way. If I throw him a fastball and he grooves it, he's got a chance to hit a 3-run homer. So I'm going to go to the slider, which he did, which I'm sure Ian wasn't looking for, but did throw it for a strike. Ended up walking. The long man in the Rays bullpen knows he's going to be pitching in this game.
Yeah. Now, Michael Young's a great example of what we're talking about, Tag, in terms of getting that first pitch and knowing what to do with it. His batting average on the first pitch with that 0-0 count is .477. When he's at 2-0, he's hitting .455. When he's 0-2, he's hitting .040. He'll tilt the count a bit in his favor here. Looks like they're going to get action going already. Lance Cormier. All right, there's
really struggling right now.
There's that 2-0 count.
Well, this may be a 2-0 count where you're better off taking a pitch.
Yeah, because he
just walked 2 straight batters. And even if he throws you a strike right here, can he do it again after that? definitely have to make sure if you're going to swing here that you get a great pitch to hit.
There it is, and he drives it into center field. B.J. Upton looking, it's over his head. 1 run scores, 2 runs score. Here comes Kinsler. 3 runs score for Texas.
Ian got a great jump on that ball. He was going at the crack of the bat. He was right behind Andrews. Now this is another great example of what we're talking about. Ball 1, ball 2. You have to get a great pitch to hit. He gets a pitch right down the middle of the plate, and he drives a double to right center field. That's pretty much, in a nutshell, in 3 pitches, exactly what we've been talking about the first 2 innings of this game.
3 in the first and 3 in the second, and really on just 2 swings. Andrew Jones, a 3-run homer. Young, the 3-run double.
And in both cases, they were ahead in the count, got a pitch to hit, and drilled it. The one thing to do that, it's another thing to still have the talent
right.
to hit that pitch. It's not like it's automatic if the pitcher throws a good pitch that you're going to belt it somewhere.
Well, and let's pay the other component here too, Tag, to be honest. I mean, if you've got a guy who is struggling with his command and donates that 2-0 count, obviously, you'd love to get the 2-0 count, but if you're facing Matt Cain or Tim Lincecum in San Francisco, you're not getting a lot of 2-0 counts.
No, for sure.
Lincecum, by the way, and I bring him up because he pitched a 3-hit shutout today. He's got a 23-inning scoreless streak going on. The Astros have played 2 games out there in San Francisco. They've been outscored 22-0.
Well, you know, San Francisco was, I don't think, looked at it as a postseason candidate at all this year. But let's say they do get in, maybe as a wild card. If they get into postseason play, there's not a team in baseball that would want to play them with Lincecum and Cain, the top 2 guys in the rotation. They may not have the best team, but when those 2 guys are on the mound, they've got one of the best teams.
There's a strike, 3-2 to Bird.
Boy, that's pitch number 58, and there's still only 1 out in the 2nd inning. That's about as many pitches as you'll see after 4 outs. I don't know when I saw Todd Stoudemire throw 50 pitches in the 1st inning one day, but I don't know how many pitches he had to throw to get the 1st out in the 2nd inning.
This will not be a complete game for David Price tonight. Already 6-1 Rangers against last year's American League champions. Now, we were talking, Tag, about the possibility of winning something meaningfully with only 2 really good starters, and I mean that absolutely has been done before. Frank Viola and Bert Blyleven for the Twins in '87. Steve Carlton and John Denny for the Phillies in '83. Probably put the '88 Red Sox on that list with Clemens and Bruce Hurst. Especially with the staggered off days now in the postseason. Sometimes all you need is the 2 good starters. Bird, another walk. Wow. 3 walks in this inning, 2 walks last inning. And Joe Madden's going to come to the mound. Andrew Jones already has a 3-run homer once. Got a chance to do it again. But it will be off a different pitcher. Rangers 6, Tampa Bay 1. We'll take a break and come back after this on Fox Sports Southwest. in Arlington. We saw Tommy Hunter do some real good work as a starter for the Rangers yesterday. Lance Cormier might be asked to pitch about 5 innings himself right about now because David Price only lasted an inning and a third.
Well, I'm sure Joe Maddon's going to use him as long as he's effective. That's for sure. Trying to save the rest of the bullpen. Cormier's been with several different organizations. He's been with Atlanta. He's been with Arizona. Last year he was with Baltimore. The Rays signed him in the offseason as a minor league free agent. Those are Price's numbers on the night. He's coming off a pretty good start. Well, tonight's just didn't go well. Rangers laid off the slider down and out of the strike zone. And when he got the ball up, Andrew Jones hit the 3-run homer. Michael hit the 3-run double on good pitches to hit on 3-1 counts.
So the rest of the way, the Rays are priceless. They go with Cormier for now with 2 on. And Jones ripped that 3-run homer last inning. The Michael Young 3-run double tag, just to go back to that, career double number 300 for Michael. Only the 4th Ranger ever to have 300 doubles. Deanna Navarro, the Tampa Bay catcher, just went back to get a new glove. Trading out. Wave and a miss this time by Andrew. These guys were teammates in Atlanta for a little bit. Cormier out of Lafayette, Louisiana. He and Paul Bacco.
Slider ball pitcher.
Yep,
so
apparently.
far. And a pretty good one, though.
Andrew in the lineup as a cleanup man. We'll see exactly how much playing time he's getting when Josh Hamilton returns to the team. Josh playing again on a rehab assignment tonight. Jones skies it into right center. B.J. Upton on the move along with the right fielder Kapler. And Gabe has got it. Runner tags from second to third. Michael Young will make it runners at the corners, 2 down. Then a chance for Hank Blaylock.
First baseman Hank Blaylock.
Hank's got a 4-home-run homestand cooking right now. He's got 3 homers in his last 2 games. In fact, 3 go-ahead home runs in those 2 games. One of them the game-winning walk-off. That's redundant, isn't it? The game-winning walk. If you walk off, you win.
Unless you just like quit, just walk right off the field.
That's true. If it's not a forfeit. That's the one off Casimir yesterday. That was not a walk-off. That was simply nice to watch Hank round the bases in the 4th inning. Casimir's not a guy that gives up homers to lefties. At least he's not supposed to. But Hank, I guess, didn't get that memo. Inside corner for a strike. I think the stat on Casimir going into this season anyway, he'd given up 11 home runs to lefties in his career. 720 something innings pitched. Now the Mariners won their game today 3-2 in Boston. So Seattle keeps pace. They are 2 behind the Rangers and the Angels right now. Again, the Rangers and the Halos in that precise tie. They're both 43 and 35 coming in tonight.
All of a sudden, the American League West is not looking so bad anymore. It's looking like one of the better divisions right now, the way the 3 teams are playing.
Rangers strand a couple, but they got the 3-run double from Michael Young. And at the end of 2 tonight, it is the Rangers 6, Tampa Bay 1. Michael Young's got himself a walk and a 3-run double tonight. Well, the Rangers having little issue early in this game. Got a 6-1 lead already, but we should mention Tampa Bay is #1 in the majors in runs scored, on base percentage, number of walks achieved, stolen bases, and they were in the World Series last year. Marlon Byrd racing after this one. He will not get it. Gianna Navarro finds the alley. He's going to cruise into second base here with a double to open the third.
You know, everything you just said makes it even more impressive how Tommy Hunter pitched in last night's game.
Yeah, no doubt. Held that team to 3 hits last night. Navarro was just reached for his last 23. There he is, 23 years old in 1 day now. Tommy had his whole family in to watch that game yesterday, help him celebrate the 23rd birthday. That is a gift that keeps on giving, that memory of the first big league win.
Well, what a thrill for his parents to come down on his birthday. #1, just to celebrate his birthday with their son. See him win a big league game, his first big league win, and then fly back in anticipation of the birth of one of their grandchildren.
That's a pretty good 4th of July weekend.
Pretty good 4th of July weekend.
The only RBI achieved in that game yesterday off Hunter was off the bat of this guy, B.J. Upton. Now suddenly here's Holland at 3-0. And again, the ups and downs of Young pitching. We've already seen it tonight with David Price of Tampa Bay. There have been some ins and outs early on for young Mr. Holland now, too. He walks B.J. Upton on 4 pitches. Counsel comes from a 25-year-old. Taylor Teaguard seems to handle these pitchers really well, huh?
Taylor's got a great reputation in that regard, as well as his defensive skills behind the plate. The Rangers are lucky to have 2 young catchers, real talented young catchers, both of them capable of having the opportunity to play every day in the big leagues. Right now it's Salty's turn, but that doesn't necessarily at all relegate Taylor as a backup catcher. That's what he's doing right now, but that's certainly not what he has the potential to be.
Crawford with a 12-game hitting streak is going to roll one near Kinsler. He spins around. Andrews stretching like a first baseman, and they got the out.
Well, that's a nice play because it keeps a double play in order, and it's not an easy play to go to your left, turn all the way around, and get a fast runner going to second base. It's a little bit of a risky play. You have to have talent to make it, and he throws it exactly where he has to throw it to avoid hitting the runner. Now you've got Longoria up there, and you got the chance for a double play.
Longoria in a 1-for-20 slump that I'm sure will call to mind how he ended the postseason last year. He had such a great year all the way, and he was so strong in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, but he kind of saved his worst for last. The 1-for-20 slump just happened to be on the biggest stage of all in the World Series. Rips it foul, 1-1. Longoria, his Long Beach State college teammate was Troy Tulowitzki, and he certainly wasted no time his rookie year in Colorado. Same deal with Longoria. There's a good move from Holland at first.
First base umpire Hunter Wendelstedt is staring too. Boy, he's getting a good look at that move. Have seen it call the block. Maybe not that exact same move, but his move to first base has been called a couple of times on him.
No, and obviously with Crawford as the runner, even though Tampa Bay is down by 5 here, Crawford has such amazing speed. He's got 40 steals already.
Yeah, I would not rule out him trying to steal second base if he gets a jump.
Keeps him out of the double play, right?
Sure, and gets another man in scoring position. This game it looks like a big lead, and it is early in the game. There's a lot of baseball left to be played in this game.
And again, a high-scoring opponent tonight.
Absolutely.
Although not lately. This little 2-game losing streak for Tampa Bay is on the heels of a 7-game win streak. They have been shut down by rookies the last 2 games. Ricky Romero got him in Toronto. Tommy Hunter yesterday. A little calling card from Derek that time. Speaking of Toronto, the Yankees beat him today 6-5 and 12. And the Yankees are just 1 game back of Boston now because the Red Sox lost to Seattle. Indians lead the A's 4-2 tonight. That's in the 7th inning. The Orioles will be at the Angels in about an hour. 2-2 is a ground ball to short for Andrews. To Kinsler, 1 on to first. Double play.
He kept the double play in order with that nifty play before that, and then they turn a double play and they get Derek right out of the inning.
Looking good right now. 6-1 Rangers. Lansing 6-1 lead early on tonight. Folks, when you're away from home and can't watch your Rangers, I know that's a very sad experience. So catch the game on your computer with MLB.tv. For details, go to TexasRangers.com, where baseball is always on. A very safe and happy 4th of July weekend to you and yours. Hope you all had a great day today, enjoying the 101-degree temperatures. Hopefully you found some water, or at least some sunblock with like a 50 in it, so you can just sit outside all day and bake. Now a little baseball for you. The Rangers leading 6-1, and Ellie Cruz behind 1 strike.
One thing we've seen from Cormier is a very good slider. He's throwing every one of them almost in the same spot, down and away from the right-hand hitter. Well, the curveball right there. I want to thank Scott and Lisa Wingfield for the great batch of cookies, her famous lemon bars and oatmeal carmelitas. Scott and Lisa were the Rangers fans of the year in the past. Thank you very much.
Because of the Carmelitas, or
no? Because well, that's one reason, but I think because of their great support of the team.
Got it. Cruz trying to parachute it down. He's got it. He's hit. Nelly trying to get back to where he was about a month ago. It's been a tough stretch for him, so he'll take those hits like that.
Got a lot of great treats in the last couple of days. We thanked everybody for them. An unusual one came in today, though, Josh, from Chad Brandt. Homemade gourmet dog treats.
You didn't eat those, did you?
I did not eat them myself, but I'm going to bring a bag home for my little mutts.
Nice.
Miss Mocha's Gourmet Pantry. Anyone interested in that, you can go to missmochas.com and check out the different kind of homemade natural dog treats. Very nice. Thank you, Chad. Chad's at the game tonight, enjoying 4th of July at the ballpark.
Nice of you to want to go gourmet for your dogs.
Yeah.
Do you dress them up too, or
no?
No.
All
right. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, absolutely not.
No.
I saw some great outfits at the dog day.
Nelly running. David Murphy blasting. That ball is going to skip to the bottom of the wall. Nelson Cruz to third. David Murphy into second with a double. Ball getting away in the infield, but backed up. Still nobody out in the inning. And Nelly hesitated at second base. Wasn't sure exactly what was happening with that ball, so he was not able to score on Murphy's 10th double of the year.
No, he was stealing a base. So you've got a good jump. There's a hanging slider right there. And if you're Nelly, what you want to try to do right here is look toward third. It's hard to do. Your natural tendency is to try to find the ball. But if you do have the presence of mind to look toward third base, you can pick up the coach who will tell you what to do. Easier said than done. I think most players tend to try to locate the ball when you have no idea where it is. It's a natural thing to do.
Cormier's come into this game tag, and out of 13 pitches, 12 have been strikes. So that's a welcome departure for Tampa Bay. David Price really struggled to harness his command in this game tonight.
Well, David Price would be a fine pitcher down the road. He's went through some growing pains today. That's why we say don't try to evaluate young pitchers based on a short sample when they first get to the big leagues. The pitcher that you saw today, the type of pitcher David Price was today, won't even resemble what you see down the road. But if you're a Ranger hitter, then you took advantage of what the opportunity was today. Just exactly what you should do.
Again, everything with a little bit of bite on it from Cormier. The Rangers with that 3-run homer from Andrew Jones in the first, a 3-run double from Michael Young in the second. They're hunting around for more here in the third. On America's birthday today, number 233. Teagarden hoisting one into center. B.J. Upton going back on it. Murphy set to tag from second base. It's a no-brainer that Nelly Cruz is coming in. It is now 7-1.
That's a very good at bat right there for Taylor. With a couple of strikes on him, he made contact, drove the ball far enough to score not only the guy from third, but to move the runner at second to third base now with only one out, where he can score on another fly ball.
The shortstop, Elvis Andrews.
Oh, tag and go for Nelly Cruz.
Taylor getting a start today is right in the middle of both of a big rally. The double to lead off the second. Now a sacrifice fly in the third.
Infield is in for Tampa Bay. Trying to keep it at 7-1. Andrews drew one of the 5 walks allowed by David Price before he left. That's why you got the infield in. Bartlett, automatic over there to take care of Elvis, and the inning left to Ian Kinsler.
Second baseman, Ian Kinsler.
Bartlett was a very important addition to this Tampa Bay team. He was voted their team MVP last year by their media. He was their number 9 hitter who had 1 home run, 37 runs batted in, an on-base percentage below 330. So you say, well, how can that guy on a team that went to the World Series be their MVP? Because he did all the little things perfectly.
I think he kind of exemplified the biggest change in their team, which was their defense. He was a key defensive player on a totally revamped defensive ball club, and that was a huge part of what you're talking about.
And it was popular sport to say that the Rays and the Twins made a trade of Delman Young for Matt Garza. But a big second part of that trade coming to Tampa Bay was Jason Bartlett.
Yeah, Brendan Harris went to the Twins, and they're happy with him as their shortstop too. So that was a pretty remarkable trade, really, to put together that kind of trade for young players.
Yeah.
Usually you'll see a veteran player for young players, but to see that many good young players in the same trade is pretty unusual.
Kinsler, bouncing ball foul.
Delman Young had just been the number 1 pick in the draft. Matt Garza was a number 1 draft choice. Good young hitter for good young pitcher. And then the 2 shortstops switched places too.
Well, and again, as Tampa Bay ascended all the way to the World Series, the biggest thing Ranger fans can look at, I think, to be excited about for 09 is that their team this year is looking a little bit like Tampa Bay's from last year. Improve the pitching, improve the defense. Kinsler grounds out, and the Rangers settle for the 1 run to make it 7-1 at the end of 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, across the country, fans like you are
Fourth of July. Josh Lewin, Tom Grieve, Jim Knox, our entire crew wishing you and yours a very happy 4th of July holiday weekend. Same 2 teams tomorrow night. It is a 7:09 first pitch. Why the funky starting time? Well, the ESPN network is coming in to televise the game, so we got to remember to clean up the booth here at TAG. We don't want to make John Miller and Joe Morgan think we're a couple of slobs.
After what I've seen this booth look like when they leave, the last thing I'm going to be concerned about is cleaning this booth for them. You can go to the bank on that.
You are planting your flag, son.
No, I'm just saying that what goes around comes around.
All right, well.
So they're going to get what this booth normally looks when I leave anyway, which is fairly neat. So I'm not going to mess it up on them, but I'm not going to go try to borrow the vacuum cleaner to do the floor before they get here.
They're going to get my pig pen, so.
I am cleaning out the refrigerator, though. I got a feeling they probably pack away some food.
Oh, come on now. The one thing they are going to get and be very confused by, now that you and I apparently are being known as Poo Poo and Peanut, are our little place cards here actually say that. So, I'm wondering if Joe Morgan comes in tomorrow.
Joe's going to be Poo Poo and John's going to
be Peanut. And they're going to come in and try to figure out who's who.
I'm just kidding. Those guys don't leave it messy. We will leave it very nice for those guys. As well they deserve.
From your friends, Poo Poo and Peanut. Rangers 7, Tampa Bay 1 here in the top of the 4th. And a ground ball. Look at where Kinsler's playing. That's perfect. Carlos Pena is out. We go to Jim Knox.
right, Josh. I'm with Texas Ranger longtime fan Toby Reeves, also season ticket holder directly behind me. Jim Sundberg with a nice jersey. Toby's about to surprise his mom. What's this all about?
My mom was diagnosed with ALS in the fall of 2008. She was an original Texas Rangers Women's Club member back in 1972, with lifelong fans, and this is going to be her last Rangers game. And I wanted to, some way, somehow make this as special as possible. And I reached out to the Rangers, and Jim is going to help give my mom a jersey.
And your mom does not know you're here tonight. She's right here on the road. Let's go down to her now, Toby.
Jim Sundberg, just wanted to say hi. How are you? How you doing? And we got a jersey for you. Okay? So, hope you have a great time at the game. Good to see you again. I know you were at the Women's Club for a while. So, anyway, how you doing? Good to see you. So, enjoy it.
And this is such a nice surprise.
Jim, thank you very much. Toby Reeves
was
kind enough to get in touch with us, and we were happy to help try and make that happen. Thanks to Jim Knox and thanks to a lot of different Rangers personnel, especially Jim Sundberg, too. But that's a son who really, really wanted to do something nice for Mom.
That was a beautiful thing.
And ALS has touched that family. We're going to show you what it looked like back in 1974 when Jim Sundberg was hanging out with a very young Toby Reeves. And there's Mom. Welcome back to the ballpark, everybody. 7-1. Rangers have the lead as we go to the bottom of the fourth. The Major League record for most Grand Slams by an individual in a calendar week. Actually, that is shared by 3 different people. And you know what? Heck, if you get 2 of them, you're a genius. So we'll have the answer for you later in the inning. The Rangers already comfortably on top tonight, 7-1. Michael Young's been a big part of that. Had the bases clearing double in the second. Had a walk and a run scored in the first. We will endeavor to check some scores in this inning. A lot of out-of-town afternoon action around baseball today. For example, the Twins beat the Tigers 4-3. Rallied to get that done. Justin Morneau hit home run number 20 in that game. Had a 4-hit afternoon.
I went home last night after a long night at the ballpark, and right before I went to bed, I was watching the Angels game, the tail end of the Angels game, and I kind of flipped the station by mistake, and I saw the Tiger game, and I figured they must be showing a replay of this game, and it was the 16th inning of that game.
final ended up being 11-9, and our old buddy R.A. Dickey was the losing pitcher in that game.
That was quite a game. Tigers scored 3 in the top of the inning, and Twins came back and had 1 in and men on base before Freddie Dulce got the last out of that game.
So wait a minute, that's why you didn't come and hear the band at Wilhoit's last night? You were watching the Tigers game in the 16th inning?
Yeah, well, I didn't really do it on purpose. I just assumed the game was over. I thought the Angels game would be the last one. But that was a good game. George Sherrill came in and saved that game. I was anxious to see that game turn out the way it did. But how did your gig go?
Gig went great.
Good.
Nothing better. We're playing Bubba's Boathouse next week. It's all going to be great.
All right.
Fly ball to center from Marlon Byrd. Now the trivia answer. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Bring it on, Duck.
Major League record for most grand slams in a calendar week. We're doing this in honor of Lou Gehrig. Again, the 70th anniversary of his famous speech. Jim Northrup and the Rangers' Larry Parrish, right around this time of year back in 1982. Andrew Jones sending one high in the air to center field. Not this time. He's got a 3-run homer earlier. This is simply an out. And at the end of 4, Derek Holland and the Rangers on top of Tampa Bay, 7-1. And by Corona, the official sponsor of the timeout. Josh Lewin, Tom Grieve, and that haircut at the ballpark in Arlington. The Rangers enjoying a 7-1 lead against the Rays tonight. Same 2 teams tomorrow night. Matt Garza will be on the mound for Tampa Bay. Always a tough customer. Derek Holland has been granted this large cushion here, 7-1 lead. And now it's how long can he keep on keeping on? Bartlett is going to punch one in the left. Remember, he had the home run back in the second. He's 2 for 2 now with a single. That'll bring up former Ranger Gabe Kapler. And in terms of Derek Holland, here's the Geico quote provided by Ron Washington. That's the prediction, the 5th or 6th inning. Of course, last time it was a very early night for Derek Holland. That ball wrapped into left field. Base hit for Gabe Kapler, who's been hitting a ton of late. Bartlett racing to third, and he'll be held there. So here come the Rays, 2nd and 3rd, and nobody out. Gabe is now 13 for his last 24, with 11 of those hits, Tag, going for extra bases. That's something.
I guess so.
He had that stretch a couple of weeks ago where he homered in 4 straight games.
A pretty good pitch right there, too. Fastball on the inside corner.
That's the owner of the longest ever Ranger hitting streak, is Gabe Kapler. Oh, you talk about a guy that connected with Rudy Jaramillo, huh? Gabe came here from the Tigers, and there was some promise. But on Rudy's watch, Gabe Kapler really took off. And what a fascinating career he's had, too. Remember, he was retired from actually playing the sport a couple of years ago, went into the managing business. Red Sox hired him to manage their single-A team. And he did a pretty good job with that. But I think for Gabe, life's just one big bucket list. You know, you accomplish something, you prove you can do it, then it's on to the next thing. Navarro, a mighty hack right there, but nothing happening. 1-1. You figure Navarro's a guy you can go after. He's walked only 7 times this year. 1-2. The Orioles and Angels underway, by the way, and they are in the second inning scoreless. Rangers and Angels tied for first right now. In the air by Navarro. Murphy is back. He turns. It's off the top of the wall and out. A 3-run home run to make it 7-4. Well, we mentioned earlier that even though the Rangers had the big lead, Tampa Bay has the kind of team that can absolutely come back on you. This is the bottom third of their order. It goes single, double, homer.
It pitches right in the center of the plate. And he's ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So that's not where he was trying to throw the ball, but it just goes to show when you throw a fastball right in that spot, the 9th place hitter can drive it out of the ballpark. That's only his 5th home run. But that's what happens when you miss your spot.
In the big leagues.
What can happen. Not, doesn't always happen, but it's what can happen.
Boy, it skipped off the top of the wall and went out. Like a field goal hitting the crossbar and bouncing over. But that's, well, like a field goal. It's worth 3.
It's going to be worth 2 anyway.
That one's outside to Upton. .92 miles an hour and thrown right by him. The reigning player of the entire month of June in the American League, B.J. Upton. A lot of strikeouts, a lot of walks for this guy. Got 1 of each tonight. Couple of scores we didn't get to, Tag. Kansas City beat the White Sox 6-4. Chicago had a 7-game win streak, but that is done. Jermaine Dye, home run number 19 in a losing effort for Chicago. Derek Holland, real good slider.
Something other than a fastball in a good location. Good comeback right there after 3 straight hits for Derek. And that's what Ron Washington was talking about in that quote. There will be times where he's been hit this year and he's given up some runs, but he doesn't back off. He doesn't show bad body language. His stuff doesn't get worse. He keeps firing. And his last game's a great example of that. He pitched 5 2/3 innings, gave up 13 hits in that game, gave up some runs, but he struck out 8 batters in that game. There's a good curveball for strike 1.
And remember, he's only been breaking out that curveball over the last few weeks. He did not have that pitch as he was racing through the minors last year. Swept over to first by Crawford. An easy play.
So when you've got a young pitcher with good stuff to begin with, who may make a few mistakes here and there and give up some runs, the reason you feel confident, the reason his teammates like playing behind him, because he doesn't quit and he doesn't back off and he keeps going after him and he's not making excuses. And they like his attitude and they like playing behind him. And Ron Washington, as the manager, can live with 6 hits and 4 runs in this game because they like the way he's going about it. And with his stuff, with that attitude, improvement will come.
Both teams have a 3-run home run tonight. The Rangers have one from Andrew Jones, and now the Rays have one from Deano Navarro. Difference in the game is the 3-run double by Michael Young. Longoria stays alive. And yes, he is well aware. 1 letter off from Eva Longoria. No relation, no desperate ball players jokes. No relation to Tony Parker of the Spurs. Just a little coincidence there. 1-2 to count to him. Well, as we get towards dusk, still 98 degrees here in Arlington. Hot, sweaty night at the ballpark. That ball whacked into left center field. Now Longoria, who had been 0 for his last 13 and hit into a double play last time. A 2-strike double.
Well, he essentially got a batting practice fastball right there. It was a slider, but it was pretty much right down the middle of the plate. It stayed up, didn't get it where he wanted it.
Now he's got to face the guy with the most home runs in the American League, Carlos Pena. A guy who's become a much more patient hitter the last couple of years. Oh, it swings right away here, though. It's 0-1. Hard to believe, Tag, that he only made the Tampa Bay roster out of spring training back in 07 because Greg Norton got hurt. But by the end of that season, as you mentioned yesterday, he had 46 home runs and 120 runs batted in. Wave and a miss, 0-2.
Good pitch.
Whoa. Dana DeMuth did not give it to him.
Not quite good enough, I guess. Still a good pitch, though. No balls and 2 strikes. Good location with it. Tempting pitch.
Whoa.
It actually did look like a pretty good pitch when you look at the pitch tracker.
That one's inside. Tampa Bay out hitting the Rangers 7-5, but the Rangers lead the game 7-4. He got him, and he is out of the inning. Tampa Bay gets a little closer. It is 7-4. we go to the bottom of the 5th. And a reminder, the Ozarka Texas Rangers Alumni Legacy Golf Classic will be July the 30th at beautiful Texas Star in Euless. The event supports the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation. 817-436-5933 is the number to call. And if you're a golfer and you like hanging out with ball players, that's a good event to be at. I know Steve Busby is planning on being there, so that's the best sales pitch I have for this event. Blaylock to first base, and Pena will lead Cormier for one out. You are golfing in that, right, Buzz?
No, Josh. I was going to, and I had a little accident, so I don't think I'm going to be there.
No
Plus,
golfing?
I still owe too many golfers money from the past rounds that I have, and I don't want to show up. No, I can't.
All right. Well, other golfers will be there, and you're busy anyway. You're doing a lot of announcing on the radio side coming up.
Well, I'm going to do the road trip, or at least the part that Eric can't do. Unfortunately, Eric's still recovering from the eye surgery, the second eye surgery, and he can't fly comfortably yet. So as soon as he's ready, I'll be back here tending to my weeds in my backyard.
we all call it something.
Yeah.
Nelly Cruz, the batter, and Buzz, interesting to get your take, I think, on the two young lefty starters tonight. David Price did not get out of the second inning. Let's start with him for Tampa Bay.
Well, I think in general you've got two young left-handers, like you said, Josh, and that's the key. You've got a couple guys that really are in about the same place developmentally, and you're going to see your ups and downs. Tonight, Price had trouble in spurts finding the strike zone, and I think Derek Holland has had the same kind of problem.
Nelson Cruz tees off, track, wall, it is gone! Home run, Nelson Cruz! He is the first Ranger to get to the big 2-0.
Almost at the halfway point. Got a couple more games before we actually do get to the halfway point. But 20 home runs before the All-Star break. Pretty happy with that. A lot of sliders from Cormier. That one got a little bit more of the plate than I think he wanted to, and that's the result.
And Buzz, getting back to just, I guess, Tampa Bay pitching in general, or really better stated, just pitching in general. I mean, we're seeing, it just seems like a lot of pitches over the last month or two. When we show those replays and put the rectangle up, I'm amazed at how many times you're right there in the center square.
Yeah, I don't think that's changed, Josh, to be quite honest. I think the problem right now with the young guys coming up, you have more young guys at the big league level, I think, that don't have a lot of minor league experience. So their ability to command the strike zone, to dice that strike zone into four separate parts and stay within those four separate parts is kind of limited. So I think you see, more pitches in the center of that, and more guys trying to rear back and throw you 100% fastball every time out of the chute. And that leads to inconsistencies, too.
Now, in terms of Derek Holland, obviously his last start, that's pretty much what we got, right? I mean, 20 pitches in a row to start the game were fastballs. Well,
there's nothing wrong with the fastball if you can command it. If you can cut that strike zone into four quadrants and say, throw them on the low inside, low outside, up and away at will. But when you don't have that kind of command, what you end up doing is getting in fastball counts and trying to reach back and throw your 115-mile-an-hour fastball.
Murphy, and this ball taking off. B.J. Upton back, and he couldn't get it. Murphy steamrolls around second on his way to third. That ball just had some carry to it.
I thought off the bat that Upton wouldn't even have to go back for that ball, and by the way he went after that ball, I think he thought the same thing too. That was a classic case of drifting after a ball, never getting to it, not knowing where the wall was. He leaped into the wall when he was about 5 feet in front of the wall. Ball gets over his head, and it's kind of a gift triple right there, I guess. David will take it, double and a triple now. Kind of a cardinal sin for an outfielder drifting after a ball like that, but in his defense, I don't think off the bat he had any idea that ball was going to carry that far.
I don't think the balls down at Tropicana Field do that.
I don't think so. That kid's a good outfielder. He's a great athlete, but that ball just fooled him, it looked like.
Conversation on the mound here as they try to settle down Cormier, and Tampa Bay will get some action going in the bullpen again.
Taylor Teagarden had a good at bat his last time up with a man on second and third and less than 2 outs. In fact, no outs. He hit the long fly ball that scored a run and moved the man from second to third. And now he's going to get another at bat right here.
It will be against
third base.
Yeah, it'll be against a different pitcher too. Jeff Neiman has been warming in the bullpen. Originally was going to be starting tomorrow, but he got pushed to the bullpen.
Which of you wouldn't consider it the highlight of his career just to associate with them for even one day? Sure, I'm lucky. When the New York Giants, a team you would give your right arm to beat, and vice versa, sends you a gift, that's something. When everybody down to the groundskeeper and those boys in white coats remember you with trophies, that's something. When you have a wonderful mother-in-law who takes sides with you in squabbles with her own daughter, that's something. When you have a father and a mother who work all their lives so you can have an education and build your body, it's a blessing. When you have a wife who has been a tower of strength and shown more courage than you dreamed existed, that's the finest I know. So I close in saying that I may have had a tough break, but I have an awful lot to live for.
Pete O'Brien, whose dad, Jim, lost his battle with ALS back in the mid-'80s, was honored to be reading that speech for this big crowd tonight. And there you see the website you can go to for more information about ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. Now, we mentioned Jeff Neiman was throwing in the bullpen. He still is, but this is Chad Bradford that's going to come in here with a runner at third, 1 out, the infield in. The side-winding right-hander, you might remember him as an Oakland Athletic. He's going to face Taylor Teagarden with the Rangers on top here 8-4. Steve Busby continues with us in the booth. He'll be part of the Rangers live coverage after the game. What about sidewinders? Did that just kind of creep you out? You never considered doing that, did you?
Well, to be quite honest, I didn't, Josh. And I don't know what would make you consider that unless somebody said, hey.
I'll tell you what, lack of stuff to begin with.
Well, yeah, that's true, too. That's true, too. It always looked to me like it hurt to throw that way. And I hurt enough throwing overhand. I didn't want to throw underhand.
Bradford started throwing sidearm back in high school in Mississippi.
I would say most sidearm pitchers switched to sidearm after struggling with a traditional way to pitch. Just like Charlie Huff struggled as a traditional pitcher and went to the knuckleball. Tim Wakefield, the same thing.
Of course, the A's now have Brad Ziegler. This is the original Brad Ziegler, the side-arming, ground ball getting right-hander. There's the ground ball. It's a base hit.
To find a hole. What a game for Taylor. Getting a chance to play. Couple of hits, couple of runs driven in. Scored a run already.
These two teams played a 3-1 game yesterday with a grand total of 8 hits. It's a different night tonight.
Well, you know, Josh, you look at these two teams, and statistically, you can figure on Tampa Bay being explosive. And, we know the Rangers can be explosive, even though the last month notwithstanding. But in this ballpark, this isn't really a surprise, especially when you had a couple of young pitchers start the ballgame.
You'll love to see what the Rangers just did. They answered the 3 runs with a couple of their own in the bottom of the 5th, back up to a 5-run lead.
Andrews takes outside. You got to admit, though, Mr. Busby, that Tampa Bay, what they've been able to do going back to last year. I mean, you talk about just finally getting a plan and embracing it and watching it pay off. That's pretty cool.
Oh, it's one of the best stories in baseball probably in the last decade or so. I take a guy like Joe Madden who comes in and we talk a lot, I think, kind of off the cuff about changing cultures. Well, he changed the culture. He changed the culture from a bunch of guys who didn't believe in themselves and brought in a bunch of young guys and some people who said, hey, I got an idea how to play this game. And all of a sudden they became a great unit. Throw in a good bullpen and some great starting pitching, you got a winner.
The wonderful writer Jerry Krasnick, I love how he put it, Buzz. He said, in an age of instant gratification, the Tampa Bay Rays stand as a paragon of long-range thinking and making do with limited means. I couldn't have said it any better.
Well, the other thing that they benefited from was many years of last place finishes and many years of #1 draft choices, high #1 draft choices. And while they didn't win for a long time, with that kind of talent, when it all came together, it happened quickly.
What a play by Bartlett to get the out at second base. And again, as the Rangers try to borrow from that template of pitching and defense. That's what propelled Tampa Bay all the way to the World Series last year. That kind of play by Bartlett.
Yeah, and you look at 3 examples of it. They're out on the field. You've got Upton, was a high #1 pick. Longoria, a high #1 pick. Carl Crawford was the first pick in the 2nd round of the draft. And then they made some wise decisions as far as trades go. You already talked about Bartlett. They signed Iwamura, who was a big part of their defense at second base. They benefited by the timing of getting Carlos Pena. Been with a number of teams, but it all came together for him last year.
I like how they finished it off too. I mean, because they were a cute story in April and May last year, kind of a novelty by June. But then by October, they were absolutely for real. I mean, any remaining doubters, there was no way you could doubt it anymore.
No, every time they went into Boston or went into New York at a time when it looked like they might be falling, you'd say, okay, there go the Devil Rays. They'd come out and win 2 out of 3. They never backed off.
Made the World Series with the 2nd lowest payroll. They were 29th in dollars spent last year, but they won the AL pennant. Runner goes. Navarro throws, and it's going to be too late. Elvis Andrus has been a base-stealing machine this homestand.
Buzz, for a pitcher, what are the things you do to try to keep a guy from stealing a base?
Well, Tom, I think the first thing you do is try to disrupt his timing by holding the ball a little bit longer, by varying the amount of time you stay in a set position, by varying the places in your stretch motion that you throw to first base from. But you can vary your leg kick. Some guys, go to a part of the slide step.
Did you do the slide step?
I didn't do the slide step. No, I just tried to quicken my motion up just a little bit, still lifting my leg. The problem
would you say with the slide step you lose stuff? I mean, you don't have the same stuff?
Yeah, you can, and I think that's what you have to balance off. If you do a slide step and still can get your body in the same position and your hand in the same position to throw your best stuff,
right?
That's great. I'm all for that, and there are ways to do that mechanically. But I think a lot of guys try to speed up the slide step and lose the ability to throw their best pitches.
Kinsler turns on one and drives it way foul.
I guess really, if you're not throwing your best stuff, it kind of defeats the purpose of holding the runner if you don't get the hitter out.
Well, you can be sure and get out of a jam in a hurry that way if you're not throwing your best stuff.
That's right.
But yeah, there are several different ways to do it. I don't think guys spend enough time developing the footwork it takes to have a fairly good pickoff move, first and second. I think that's kind of a lost art. That and fielding bunts, I think, is kind of an ignored factor of pitching.
Bradford flings it outside to Kinsler. Michael Young on deck. It's already 9-4 Rangers. They got 3 in the first, 3 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in here in the fifth. Kinsler bangs it to Bartlett. We'll throw out Ian to end the inning. Buzz, thanks for your time, man. Happy 4th.
Another good inning for you, Buzz.
Hey, 2 in a row.
You're on a roll.
When you're hot, you're hot. 9-4. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T is your world delivered. The Dallas Baptist product, Ben Zobrist. What an incredible season he's having. Tampa Bay trails at 9-4. Ben Zobrist is the son of a minister. Is married to an accomplished Christian rock singer. But the most interesting thing we can tell you about him is he is now being called Zorilla because of his display of power that he's been putting on.
He's leading the league in OPS, on base percentage, plus slugging percentage. He's having the kind of year that Milton Bradley had for the Rangers last year. He leads the league in slugging percentage by almost 30 points at .620, and he's second to Kevin Youkilis in on base percentage at .412. So you talk about a remarkable breakout first half of the season. This is it.
He's got 3 grand slams already, too. To left field, and Murphy, a shoestring catch.
What a nice play.
Zobrist keeps hitting line drives. This time David Murphy equal to it for the first out here in the 6th inning.
The only way you can catch this ball is to get a good jump and be aggressive and keep on coming after it, and that's what David did. Catches it right off the ground. Nice play.
Now Holland's got to face the guy they called Pat the Bat back in college, Pat Burrell.
Well, every extra out that Derek gets is one less out that the bullpen has to throw.
Yeah. Jason Jennings was awesome again yesterday. He very quietly did something that escaped my attention tag. He struck out 6 batters in a row over two appearances.
I didn't realize that.
The Ranger record for consecutive batters struck out is, well, Nolan Ryan had 7 of them in a game in 1991. Jason Jennings came within 1 of that over a stretch of 2 games.
Well, Jason Grilly's been throwing out in the bullpen, and he's ready. And I think Ron Washington is just going to let Derek go as long as he can. He's at 86 pitches right now. Whoa, that didn't miss by a whole lot.
He's had a couple of close ones that haven't been called the last couple of years.
Let's see if it even did miss. I didn't think so.
No, that was a strike. That was not. Now 3-2. That's too bad. Burrell's one of those guys who always seems to be up there for 4, 5, or 6 pitches at least. High fly ball. The proverbial can of corn. Murphy's got it. We go to Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Josh. Here he is, former Ranger Pete O'Brien, along with family and friends on hand. But this game really has a special meaning for you due to the speech you gave beforehand.
Yeah, it was great. My dad had passed away about 23 years ago in '86, and so it was a great honor to go out there. My wife's brother has got ALS, and so it's hit our family pretty hard, and it was great to be able to go out there and do the honor tonight.
All right, good to see you. Phil, Ranger fans in. What are you up to nowadays?
Well, we've just opened up a flotation spa actually in Colleyville, and not too many people would know what that is. But go Google it, and something will come up, and it's a very neat experience that we've been open for about a year now.
All right, and you got some history on George Hendrick, the first base coach of Seattle. What's that about?
Yeah, the George was called Lazy George back in his playing days, and he actually started this whole trend with the pant legs all the way down.
There we go. I bet Josh didn't even know that one, Josh.
Yeah, no, I was not prepared to give George Hendrick full credit for that. I was not. Thanks, Jim. Thank you, Pete O'Brien. And thank you, Derek Holland, for striking out Jason Bartlett to end the top of the 6th inning. Tonight worth $1,200 plus tickets to a Ranger game and dinner for two at Sonic. Good luck to Pearl Hayes of Dallas. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, we're giving away $25,000. Rangers already leading 9-4 tonight in front of this big crowd. And a big pitcher out there on the mound now too, Tag. Jeff Neiman takes over. How's about 6'9", 260?
That sounds big.
He did not play high school basketball. He tried out for Houston's Lanier Middle School team, but it got beaten out by Amika Okafor, who went on to NBA greatness. So he gravitated right to baseball instead, and that's worked out very well.
He's in a nice season. 7-4 record, ERA under 4. Thought he was going to pitch tomorrow. Obviously, he's pitching today.
Yeah, they're going to go with Garza instead tomorrow. And the former Rice Owl will bring it into Michael Young. He fouls it right away.
Another high first-round pick for the Rays.
Well, you mentioned it. That is the one upside of losing 100 games a year every year for a while. They were always picking number 1 or number 2.
And that's not a recipe for overnight success. It takes a while for those kids to get to the big leagues. They don't all make it. But after a number of years of picking there, kind of cultivating those number 1 picks, and then some shrewd decisions to support them with trades and free agent signings, it all came together for them.
Well, we mentioned last year how they won the pennant with the league's lowest payroll, the American League's lowest payroll. But by season's end, what general manager possibly would have traded his whole team for Tampa Bay's whole team even up? Young with the ground ball to short, and it's picked by Bartlett. 1 up, 1 down. We go to Rick Renner.
Hey guys, want to encourage everybody to be our friend on Facebook. I need some friends. Just search Fox Sports Southwest and follow us on Twitter. Send your tweets at FS Southwest. Tonight's Twitter question, we want to know what's your favorite July 4th food. Hamburgers, hot dogs. Steve Busby likes steak and corn on the cob. How about Tag? I bet he likes hummus on a red, white, and blue bun with tofu. Back over to you guys.
If they even make such a thing. Thank you, Rick. You got to at least you got to have some sort of burger or brat or something today.
Sure. 4th of July, no doubt about it. If I'm cooking out, I'm going to have something like that.
One strike pitch to Marlon Byrd. He's down too low. Marlon's had a couple of walks in this game. David Price, the starter tonight for Tampa Bay, walked 5 in an inning and a third. Gave up 3 hits and 6 runs. And for the Rangers, Derek Holland all the way. This would be his first win as a starter in the big leagues. He's got 1 in relief. Marlon cranks one into left field, base hit. On base 3 times tonight.
We go back a few days when the Angels came in and won the first game and jumped to a 2.5 game lead. It's been a nice turnaround for the Rangers. They won the last 2 games against the Angels. They won last night. Got a chance to win this game.
And by the way, Baltimore is leading the Angels tonight 3-0 in the third.
Good to see.
Andrew Jones had the 3-run homer back in the first. He was trying to hit a 2-run homer right there. Here's what a 3-run homer looks like. And the Rangers now have hit 120 home runs. Check your Ford leaderboard. Only the Yankees have more, and it's only by a couple. Towards the alley in right center field. It's a big night for Andrew Jones. This will be his 4th RBI of the night. And the Rangers hit double digits on the 4th of July.
Well, the bats are definitely starting to come alive. 2 walks and a hit for Marlin. A couple of extra base hits for Andrews. Home run and a single for Nelly. Middle of the order is definitely getting it done. In fact, everyone in the lineup's done something tonight.
And Josh Hamilton is in the blocks, ready to come back very soon to rejoin this team.
Four RBIs for Jones, 3 for Michael, 2 for Taylor.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Yes, it is.
Ball 1 to Blaylock. Well, it wasn't too long ago, Tag, that there was kind of this Chicken Little thing going on. The sky is falling regarding the complete lack of hitting with this Texas Rangers team. But the last couple games against the Angels, they put 9 and 9 on the board. They won last night despite only scoring 3 runs. And here they are right back to 10 runs tonight.
Well, that's why it's so important to maintain a steady attitude, because things can change in either direction. You don't get too high when you're going well, and don't get too low when you're going badly.
Bartlett vacuums one up. Blaylock out by a step.
Eventually your natural talent of what you should be comes through.
The Indians have defeated Oakland 5-2. That's just gone final. 7th win of the year for Carl Pavano. I mentioned the Angels trail the O's 3-0. Seattle did win today in Boston 3-2. Scored a run in the 9th. The Yankees over the Blue Jays in 12 today, 6-5. Getting to within a game of first in the AL East. Nelson Cruz into right field. Gabe Kapler says he's going to get it. He's right. The Rangers have added 1. We are at the end of 6. Rangers lead by 6. Go to Southwest.com, grab your bag, it's on. And buy Whataburger, just like you like it. If you're a Ranger fan, you gotta like the night tonight. On the 4th of July, the Rangers lead 10-4 as we go to the 7th inning. And there is Jason Grilli taking over for Derek Collin. Derek gave the Rangers 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs. And in position now, Tag, to win for the first time as a starter at the big league level.
I love Jason's comments the other day. Someone asked him in the press, did he enjoy being with the Rangers? He said, do I enjoy being the Rangers? I get to work for Mike Maddox, and Nolan Ryan is my boss. Are you kidding me? Which pretty much says it all. He loves being here.
He's from that generation that just lionized Nolan Ryan.
Well, what did he say in that article? Wasn't his confirmation name Nolan, I think?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Willie Ibar is going to step in there and bat in place of Kapler. Get a left-hand swinger in there instead of the right-hand swinging Mr. Kapler. We just saw Willie's brother Eric, a member of the Angels, earlier on this homestand.
He loved the way Derek Holland finished out the game. Retired the last 4 batters he faced, 3 in a row in the 6th. Struck out the last hitter, who had homered and singled off him, Jason Bartlett. Struck out Carlos Pena to end the 5th with a man on. So he got the last 4 hitters, 2 of them on strikes, and ended up going 6 innings. And before the game, Ron Washington had said, I just know he's going to go 5 or 6 innings. If you talk to talk to Derek, I'm sure he'll say he didn't want to give up those 3 runs in the 5th inning, but a lot to build off of in his last 2 starts. He pitched in his last 2 starts. He's thrown 11 2/3 innings. Quick out right there for Jason. And he's given up some hits. He's given up some runs. But in 11 2/3, he's only walked 2 and he struck out 12. A lot of good signs in the last 2 starts. We've got a chance to get a win today. The Rangers have put some runs on the board. And it should be a good positive feeling for Derek as he continues to get his on-the-job training at the big league level.
Deanna Navarro's had a big night from the number 9 spot. A double and a 3-run home run. Grilly paints the corner. Strike 1. Rangers out hitting Tampa Bay 10-7. Last night they out hit them 5-3 in a low scoring 3-1 game. That one's upstairs. A couple other finals for you that we didn't get to last inning. The Royals beat the White Sox 6-4. Twins over the Tigers 4-3. Over in the National League, the Brewers ripped the Cubs today 11-2. Ground ball right back to Grilly. Underhand flip. Ground number 2. We were talking about Derek Holland's tag in our Coors Light freeze cam, showing you the location of some strikeout pitching.
A good sinking fastball for one of them. Nice slider down and in for another. A good breaking ball, looked like inside. And a fastball on the outside corner. A little bit of everything.
Here's B.J. Upton. And a quick swing and a miss. B.J.'s brother Justin playing right now. The Diamondbacks are trailing Colorado 4-2 in the 6th inning. Another home run for Mark Reynolds. He's got 23 now. The Nationals beat the Braves today. They were due for a win. Washington 5, Atlanta 3. Adam Dunn, home run number 22. Getting pretty close now. Number of home runs for Dunn versus number of wins for his team. 23-22. Reds beat the Cardinals 5-2. And boy, that National League Central is tight. With St. Louis losing and Milwaukee winning today, you got a 2-way tie for first. You got the Cubs and the Reds right there. The Astros are in contention. Doesn't look like 100 wins will be necessary to win the NL Central. It is jam-packed right now. Upton hitting it high and deep to left. David Murphy to the track. Right along the wall. It's going to hit the very top of the wall. And Upton racing towards third.
That ball was up in the air a long time. Coming straight down. That missed a home run by about an inch. See if we can see exactly where it comes down.
Wow, that did not miss by much.
No.
Hey, by the way, the Josh Hamilton rehab assignment for Oklahoma, the Red Hawks got rained out. They're going to play 2 7-inning games tomorrow, and Josh will be a part of that. That's 14 innings at least, where you can get some ABs. Other National League scores: the Phillies beat the Mets 4-1. Jamie Moyer wins for the 3rd time in a row. Brad Lidge the save. That's another real jam-packed division, that National League East. Giants beat the Astros, we mentioned, 9-0 behind Tim Lincecum. The Astros been outscored 13-0 and 9-0. There are 2 games so far out there. Strike to Crawford. Padres beat the Dodgers 7-4 today, though Manny Ramirez hit a home run. And the Marlins beat the Pirates 5-3. The Marlins, another team tag that apparently is just not going to go away real easy. They're now 42-40. They're a game behind Philadelphia.
The only one going away there is Washington, but they bid farewell a long time ago.
About April 9th. 2-2 pitch is high. And again, the last we heard about the Angels tonight, they were trailing Baltimore in the 4th inning, 3-0. On the ground, second base for Kinsler. To get the Rangers and the Rays to the 7th inning stretch here on the 4th of July. And we will keep it right here, the singing of God Bless America on this our nation's birthday. Enjoy.
Tampa Bay Rays and all of Major League Baseball as we pause to honor America and the men and women of our armed services who are serving the country both at home and abroad. Tonight, Molly Corbett, wife of Air Force Technical Sergeant Charles Corbett, representing the millions of United States military families across the globe who proudly serve alongside their spouses in defense of our great nation. Molly honors America with the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
up. David Murphy went down. Took one right off the ground here. The Rangers have sparkled defensively. They've been hitting the ball a ton tonight. They're leading 10-4 in the bottom of the 7th inning on the 4th of July. David Murphy takes up 2 high. Not only that great play in left field, but Murphy's got a double and a triple tonight. Now a little check swing roller near third. And Murphy's out. Now the Rangers and the Rays again tomorrow night. 972 Rangers the number to call to get your tickets. And then after that tag, I think kind of a defining road trip coming up. The Rangers have to go play the Angels and the Mariners.
Well, we knew this was a tough part of the schedule the last month or so, but we said the same thing when the team went to Boston, when they went to New York. Talked about this homestand kind of in the same general terms with the Angels and Tampa Bay coming in. So the Rangers have been meeting those challenges. You got to play all the teams in the league. Sooner or later you have to play them. We know we're going to go to Anaheim 3 times this year. Haven't been there yet. So I think the team knows what the challenge is, and they've been up to it so far, that's for sure.
Taylor Teagarden sends one towards center. And B.J. Upton will lock it up, 2 down. Well, the Rangers will hit that All-Star break in Seattle. In terms of who is going to represent the Rangers during the actual All-Star game, we're going to find that out tomorrow afternoon. Ian Kinsler and Dustin Pedroia went right down to the wire at second base. It'll be interesting to see if Michael Young can get in there one way or another. He's got such a track record in All-Star games. I have a hard time believing the players wouldn't want him there, and Joe Madden wouldn't want him there. And of course Kevin Millwood, another guy to consider very strongly. Andrus with a fly ball towards center. That will bring the bottom of the 7th to an end. Rangers 10 and Tampa Bay 4. Leading now 10-4 into the 8th inning. Andrew Jones with 4 runs batted in. And Derek Holland online for the victory tonight. The Rangers bullpen being asked to do it the rest of the way. A new Ranger pitcher to tell you about in just a moment. But first, we are going to go to Jim Knox.
Thank you very much, Josh. A big night for the Air Force. Over 100 airmen on hand, and we're with Lieutenant Colonel McKenna throughout the first pitch. You had a lot of sworn-in new Air Force airmen. It's been a big night. What does Independence Day mean to you?
Independence Day is so special to me. All of the service members out there serving across this great world. Independence Day is so sweet to us and to all these fans because it's such a great country we live in. We go all across the world and we see things, but America is truly the greatest country on earth, and we're so happy that the fans can celebrate that with us.
All right, in return, this is just something small, but we like to present you with a progressive fan of the game. You're a big-time baseball fan. Thank you for all that you guys do. Ranger hat, tote bag, and shirt. Congratulations, and best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Jim. And, boy, meantime, to celebrate all that, Elvis Andrews with some kind of play. Robbing Evan Longoria.
He was robbed. That was a hard-hit ball. Josh, two of my all-time favorite kids in the whole world are watching the game tonight.
Yeah?
They're probably staying up too late. That's Tyler and Mattingly Rojas. Hi, kids, if you're watching. If your daddy and mommy tell you to go to sleep, it's time to go to sleep now.
Pena, big rip and a miss.
And I would assume that their dad, Victor, is watching.
Miss you, Vic. Missing a good year. Outside to Pena, 1-1. Again, the Rangers with a chance here to overtake the Angels again. It's looking good from the Rangers' standpoint. We got to see if the Angels cooperate and lose to Baltimore. Now, by the way, Doug Mathis is indeed the new pitcher. Jason Grilli went an inning after Holland went 6. The Sholo, Arizona native. Mathis just trying to get through it here in the 8th. Get the big crowd ready for the fireworks show after the game. They have not announced the official attendance yet tonight, but I got to guess it's 40 to 41,000-ish. A little bit off the plate to Pena. You got that shift on for Pena, and Kinsler playing way out there in shallow right. Already Kinsler has thrown out Pena once from that position on the field tonight. Walked him. We mentioned earlier Pena's become a much more patient hitter the last couple of years. He's still striking out a bunch, but he will walk his way on now too.
He's averaged 100 walks the last 2 years.
Now that surprising Ben Zobrist. 0 for 3 tonight. Well, again, with Tampa Bay, hard to write off their success last year as a fluke. Because when you think about it, Tag, they pulled off what they did without any position player having a career year. No Tampa Bay player finished among the top 8 in MVP voting. They had no one with 30 homers last year, no one with 100 runs batted in last year. And for Joe Madden, they went all the way to the World Series.
Anything can happen in postseason play. The best team doesn't always win, but over 162 games, generally the right teams go to postseason play. It can't be a fluke over 162 games. Season's too long, there's too many games, and the teams that deserve to go to postseason play are the teams that go to postseason play. We're talking about Tampa Bay. Every time they had a challenge, they met it, whether it was the Yankees or the Red Sox. whether it was hosting them in Tampa, or whether it was going to Fenway or going to Yankee Stadium. They just got the job done all season long.
Another full count. It was a fun ride last year, a dream season for Tampa Bay. They changed their names, changed their uniforms, and then changed history.
That'll help.
That's Kinsler to Andrews on the first. Got him, double play. To get the Rangers in the Rays to the bottom of the 8th, and it's still 10-4. Total family tickets. You get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 Cokes, a parking pass, unlimited play in the sports park for kids 13 and under, all for as little as $15 a person. Go to TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS. Big crowd tonight. Just announced at 43,809. So far, a happy 4th of July. 10 runs, 10 hits for the Rangers. A solid effort from Derek Holland tonight on the mound. Top of the Ranger order, Ian Kinsler. Been a bit of a struggle for Ian of late. 2 for his last 25. Trying to get himself out of that. Right here he is down in the count 1-2. The big guy out of Rice, Jeff Neiman, deals and gets Kinsler. 1 down, bottom 8. And for a look at what's coming up after the game, let's go to Dana Larson.
Well, Josh and Tom, as always, we will have complete post-game coverage, analysis with Steve Busby, reaction from the players, and Ron Washington. Also, it's a tradition unlike any other. The famed hot dog eating contest. It's hard to watch. It's hard to turn away. We will have all the gory details coming up after the game. But first, I'd also like to present to you the very first wedding photo of our very own Emily Jones.
Nice.
Congratulations to Emily. This just in, hours ago, literally, she became Mrs. McCoy. Mike McCoy, the lucky man, congratulations to the happy couple. We wish them nothing but the best and can't wait to see them back here when they get back in town, guys.
Awesome. Thank you. Great work, Dan. That's a beautiful photo, too.
Sure was.
Married in Mexico. And again, Rangers Live coming up after the game. Michael Young swats it under the glove of Bartlett. It's a base hit. Well, Michael's been on base 3 times tonight. There's been a decided lack of drama in this game because the Rangers raced out to that 7-1 lead at the end of 3. Now it's 10-4, and you kind of get the sense that this big crowd, I mean, they're loving the baseball, and it's almost like, all right, bring on the fireworks. This is awesome. And for more baseball, it is the same 2 teams tomorrow night. Scott Feldman gets the call for the Rangers. We mentioned Matt Garza goes for Tampa Bay. Then that big series in Anaheim with the 2 aces head-to-head again. Millwood against Jared Weaver at the first night into Anaheim. Look out, that one hitting Marlon Byrd.
Fans don't like seeing their guy get hit. No intent there. Marlon takes it on the left shoulder blade, turns around and goes to first.
Well, what it does is put Andrew Jones up there with a chance to improve his RBI total tonight. He's already got 4. His career high, if you're wondering, is 6. Did that last with the Braves back in 2006. Andrew had the 3-run homer in the first, an RBI double in the 6th tonight. We mentioned the news about Josh Hamilton, still on the rehab assignment at AAA. Did you see, Tag, that Justin Smoke has been promoted to AAA?
I didn't see that. No, I did not see that. I know he's having a fantastic year at AA, though.
.339 batting average, and they will move him up. So at least for a little bit, Smoke and Hamilton will be teammates.
Yeah, one of the things you like, among many things, for Justin Smoke is not only is he hitting for a high average, but he walks a lot too. So a huge on-base percentage guy this year at AA.
Rangers first-round pick out of South Carolina.
It's a nice promotion for him.
Andrew Jones lofting it to left. And not quite here. Runners have to retreat to first and second. As again, we just kind of take in this piece of Americana here tonight. Got your baseball, probably had your apple pie already. 4th of July in Arlington. And the big crowd watching the Rangers and the champions of the American League from last year. Did you have a piece of that apple pie today out in the press
missed
room?
it. I forgot it was there.
Oh, man. Could have had 3 pieces. Chose to have 1.
Did you have 2?
Nope. Stopped myself at 1. That is called restraint.
Or deprivation.
Well, there could be leftovers. You know, stop by after the game. Blaylock, big swing and a miss. Well, the Rangers scored 3 in the first tonight, 3 in the second, and it just had that good vibe right from the get-go tonight. Really, even before the game with the flyover and all that. Blaylock, base hit right center field. Well, the hits just keep on coming. 11-4 Rangers as Michael Young scores. Plays bat boy as well. Takes that bat back with him. First RBI for Blaylock tonight. He's had a big homestand. Now Nelson Cruz, who has hit home run number 20 for the year tonight, has also singled and scored. Obviously, this is not a save situation tonight. Pretty much whoever needs to pitch or just kind of wants to get an inning in.
I think what Ron's doing is he's spreading it around. One inning for Grilly, one for Mathis. Looks like Eddie's throwing out there. I think what he'd love to see is nice quick innings for all three of them, so they're all available and ready to go tomorrow, along with the guys that didn't pitch today.
A double play that Mathis got really helped his inning.
Yeah, it did.
Two-strike pitch is down and outside to Cruz.
And the fact that Derek finished strong allowed Ron to only have 3 innings of bullpen work tonight.
Runners at the corners, 2 out, and Nelly Cruz making just enough contact. Couple more Ranger home runs tonight. We mentioned the one that Nelly Cruz tattooed back in the 5th inning. Andrew Jones hit the other one. That was way back in the 1st. That's not really tattooed, but it will get the job done to make it 12-4 Texas. 3-hit night for Nelly. Hit Marlon Byrd. Marlon ends up scoring.
A pretty good pitch from Neiman right there. Down and away, a breaking ball. Nelly just got enough of the bat on it to loop it over second base. Hits like that make up for the line drives that are caught, or in Nelly's case, those 400-foot fly balls right to the base of the wall that he's hit in the first half.
If David Murphy had beaten out that little dribbler last inning, we'd be right now tag saying he's going for the cycle.
Yep.
We need the home run. But he did not do that, so it's just a double and a triple tonight, which is plenty. Close to 44,000 watching at the ballpark tonight. Murphy hammers one right field, base hit. Blaylock told to hold at third base. Rangers not about to get greedy, at least not yet.
A couple of ropes for David. He hit that double just about the same way he hit that single right there.
Single, double, triple for Murphy tonight, getting a start against a lefty. Though that lefty did not last long tonight. The highly touted David Price lasted just an inning and a third.
A high fastball, had a beautiful swing at that high pitch, leveled off his swing.
If Neiman was normally a reliever, you'd say, wow, it's a bloated pitch count, but he's been starting, so it's not really that big a deal, but he's at 46 pitches right now. All right, Taylor Teagarden, already 2 runs batted in.
It's been a real good night for Taylor. Double, scored a run, sac fly, base hit to drive in a run. Fans want more.
It's like going back for that third helping of the apple pie. Already 12-4 in the 8th. And Taylor hits it to center field. Fans will have to be okay with 12 runs tonight. Tampa Bay has only 4 on the 4th of July. The Rangers in command tonight. By Progressive. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. And by the Ford F-150. It's not just a pickup truck, it's a Ford F-150. Rangers make some changes here as we go to the 9th inning. Eddie Guardado, the veteran lefty, will get into his 30th game of the year. And behind him, some changes as well. Center field and third base. Center field, it's going to be Julio Borbon in for Bird. And Chris Davis, ladies and gentlemen, remember, plays some third base too. He's played a Gold Glove caliber first base for the Rangers this year, but the last 3 outs tonight that the Rangers need to get, they're going to put Davis at third. Pat Burrell is hacking away, and he's behind Eddie Guardado 0-2. The Orioles still leading the Angels. It is now 4-2 in the 5th inning. If Baltimore can help a brother out, then the Angels would be 1 game behind the Rangers come tomorrow morning. Rangers have a chance to help themselves when they go to Anaheim Monday. I guess we're back to coats and ties on that road trip, huh? It's going to be in the 70s.
It's going to be nice. It's going to be around 80 in Anaheim, but the advanced forecast in Seattle looked chilly.
You mean not 94 at 10 p.m.?
I don't believe so. Actually, it's going to feel good.
Good night, Pat Burrell. 1 down, 9th inning.
Something wrong with Eddie.
Yeah, Jamie Reed, the Ranger athletic trainer, heading out there with Ron Washington. Eddie kind of winced when he landed after that last pitch. Strikeout pitch, that's good news. Eddie is demonstrative, if nothing else.
He's saying, I'm finishing this.
I'm not coming out. Get back in the dugout.
I think Eddie goes out there every pitch with everything he's got, knowing it might be his last one, and he's not gonna cheat himself.
Joe Dillon, the pinch hit for Tampa Bay. The benches are getting emptier as we go along tonight. This is Jason Bartlett's spot in the order. Bartlett had a 2-hit night tonight, including a home run. Again, the Mariners beat the Red Sox today 3-2. So Seattle keeps pace. It could well be, Tag, that tomorrow it'll say Rangers in first, Angels a game back, and Seattle 2.5 back. A lot of baseball still to be played, though, between Baltimore and the Angels tonight. Rangers about to go to 27-17 here at home. A 12-run outburst tonight on 14 hits. Dillon puts one back in the crowd. Nice catch late in the ball game tonight. Fan in a Ranger shirt. And there's the handoff. Look at that.
Says, I don't want that ball. I've got my doll. What do I want a baseball for?
Dahl wins. That one's loaded. Dillon 3-2. Well, the Angels just scored another run, Tag. So 4-3 now at the end of 5. Baltimore by 1. Got him. Joe Dillon down on strikes. Eddie is 2 for 2 striking out Tampa Bay Rays. Holland will get the win tonight. His first as a starter at the big league level, his second overall. Well, the Rangers hit David Price hard. Actually, Price just couldn't get the ball over for a while there, and that helped out.
The Rangers took advantage of some walks. David walked 5 and 4 of them scored. But if you're going to have a game like this, what a night to have it. 4th of July, huge crowd, fireworks night.
David Murphy in pursuit, going back, reaching up. Ball game! Rangers take it 12-4.
Fitting way to end it with a good defensive play. 2 good defensive plays for David tonight.
Well, that's the thing, Tag. What makes this year a little bit different. We've seen 12 runs on 14 hits before. We've seen that plenty. But pitching and defense, that's what Tampa Bay used last year to get all the way to the promised land. And tonight, the Rangers with a 12-4 dismantling of last year's American League champions. Your Macaroni Grill player of the game, that's Andrew Jones. He set the tone tonight with that 3-run home run in the first inning. Well, a very happy 4th of July and a big crowd ready for fireworks. There were some early pyrotechnics tonight as the Rangers already had the 7 runs on the board through 3 innings. And then, as we say, it was the pitching and defense thing.